The award-winning Pueblo City and County Library District had to make budget cuts in 2017 because of a provision in Colorado's Constitution. A provision that meant that housing growth in Denver forced budget restrictions to Pueblo's libraries. That provision is the Gallagher Amendment. In 1982, voters passed the Gallagher Amendment to the Constitution that changed the way homes were appraised. And it also required that the amount of property taxes collected from homes statewide could never account for more than roughly 45% of total property tax collections statewide. The amendment means that the remaining 55% of property taxes must come from non-residential property like businesses and agriculture property. Gallagher also dictated the assessment rate for all property. What's the assessment rate? It's the percentage of a property's value that is subject to taxation. You don't pay taxes on the entire value of your home, only a portion of it. For example, if you have a $300,000 home and the assessment rate is 7.2%, you only pay property taxes on $21,600 of the home's value. That assessed value gets multiplied by your locally approved mills, some to the school district, some for the county and city, and some for special districts like your fire protection district and your library district. Gallagher set the assessment rate on most non-residential property in the Constitution at 29%. That set rate means that the assessment rate for residential property must fluctuate to maintain the roughly 45-55 ratio. When Gallagher was added to the Constitution, the residential assessment rate was 21%. Throughout the 1980s, the growth in value of residential property outpaced increases in non-residential property values. With ever-rising residential property values, the assessment rate on homes had to be lowered. It fell to 18%, then 16%, then 15%. It hit 10.36% in 1995, then fell to 7.96% in 2003, and in 2017 it dropped to 7.2%. That's roughly a 10% drop in the rate. This hurt different parts of Colorado differently. Areas of Colorado that have seen giant growths in housing property like Denver weren't adversely impacted as much as Pueblo. Housing property grew by 14% in Pueblo from 2016 to 2017, but since the assessment rate fell by 10% on homes, most of that housing property growth was negated. Pueblo Library District, whose property is 69% residential, lost $350,000 in funding because of the drop in the assessment rate on homes. The rate drop means the library's 5.25 mills are applied to lower assessed value. The last time the Pueblo Library District raised its mills was almost 25 years ago in 1995, back when the residential assessment rate was 10.36%. And unlike schools, which get more money from the state budget if their local revenue falls, library districts don't get the same help from the state. They are almost entirely dependent upon local revenue sources. Because residential property value increases continue to outpace non-residential value growth statewide, Gallagher will cause more drops in the residential rate in the future. This will further limit the library's ability to provide the award-winning services that Pueblo residents rely on, unless a stabilization measure passes to mitigate the loss from Gallagher. This video was brought to you by the Colorado Fiscal Institute, with support from the Pueblo Library District as part of the #Pueblo Library Proud campaign to inform the public about two very different futures for the library. The Pueblo Library District is America's best library, and for more information about how to keep the pride alive, visit www.pueblolibrary.org.